Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Fantasy Premier League with FPL Wizard. I hope you're all fine, I hope you're all safe, and I welcome you all to the live stream. So, as you can see from the topic, I'm on a free hit, and this is my free hit team, guys. Let's get the stream started. Hey Nihil, hey Jug, hey Truthful, Yash, FPL Bears, thank you so much everyone for being here. As you can see on the screen, this is my free hit team. Hey George, welcome my friend. There's 35 people watching the stream, and I welcome you all to the live stream. It's been a while since we've talked about FPL, guys, and it was a welcome break in it. And for a while we were afraid whether FPL was gonna be halted, whether the Premier League was gonna be under a circuit break, but luckily nothing has happened, and here we are, guys, talking about Gameweek 18 free hit. Hey FPL Knights, long time no see my friend, nice to see you here. Sagar says I want to take a punt, so I do Grealish and Salah to Sterling and Zaha. Nice. Alright guys, so before we can talk about and answer your questions, I'd just like to talk you through my free hit team a little bit. And as you can see, I've made a few changes. I would like to tell you the reasons why I made those changes, and so that you can know the reasoning behind why I made this team, and what was the logic behind it. So starting from the goalkeeper, after the Spurs game got moved from Aston Villa to Fulham, I thought that Lloris was the best option for me, and hence I just put him in because he's, one, he's nailed on, and two, he's the easiest fixture out of all the big boys, and that's the reason for going with Lloris. With especially Stones, I know many of you would be wondering why I don't have the double city defense, and that's the reason why I don't have it is that Pep Guardiola in his press conference today, he said that Cancelo was taken off at half time in the FA Cup because he was tired. I didn't like the sound of the press conference by Pep Guardiola, and if I'm on a free hit, I just want a player who's starting. With Cancelo, if I'm doubtful, 50-50, I'm just not gonna take the risk of putting a player in who I'm not sure is gonna start and give myself an additional headache. With Stones and Ruben Diaz, we are sure that they're going to start, right? So I felt that they're the best options, so since I could afford John Stones, that's the reason I put him in. And with Tierney, you all know, he had a great game in the Premier League against West Brom, and then in the FA Cup against Newcastle. So, he makes his way into my team. With Roman Saiz, I was not sure. I still have 0.2 million in the bank. I could upgrade him to Aaron Wan-Bissaka if I wanted. I initially did have Wan-Bissaka in my team, but, since I wanted to divide the risk a little, I put in Saiz. But if I want, I can still have Aaron Wan-Bissaka in place of Saiz. In midfield, it almost picks itself. The three of them, Son, Fernandes, De Bruyne. With Ilkay Gundogan, I just wanted to kind of go for a little bit of a triple up on Manchester City, and excuse me. And I didn't have an other way to do it because I didn't want Diaz and Stones because those are two essentially defensive players, like central defenders. So I didn't go for two defenders. Rather, I just go for Gundogan. I can show you the recent performances of Gundogan have been good. He's got 3 goals in the past 4 games, so it's not like he's not been doing well. So 10, 11, 9 difficult games. Chelsea in there as well. So in my opinion, is a decent choice, Gundogan. If I want, I could have Saka as well. I could just change Smith Rowe to Burka, and I can change Gundogan to Saka. But I just felt that Arsenal triple up would be a little bit too much. I think 2 players from Arsenal would have been good enough. So that's the reason I went with Gundogan, De Bruyne, Fernandes, Son. Initially in my free hit team, I did have Rashford as well, but then I thought I wanted I just wanted more diversity because Burnley is inherently a defensive team, and Rashford's record against Burnley was not the best. Martial's record against Burnley is good, but Rashford's record is not the best, so I decided not to go with Rashford. owing to his previous record as well, and in general with Burnley, Burnley's record as well. So that's the reason I didn't go with Rashford, and I went with just Fernandes. In forwards, I've got Lacazette, I've got Kane, I've got Wilson. I don't think much needs to be said about them because they are the best options for this game week. The forward options, I mean, if you want, you can go with 2 forwards and you can play a 3-5-2 or a 4-4-2 if you want. But for me, I just wanted to kind of spread around the risk a little bit. Because of COVID, I was just, thinking that maybe 1 or 2 games get, cancelled, delayed or something like that. So this is the reason I went with this team. I know it's not the general template kind of team. It's a little bit different, guys. But, I think I have most of the important players, or the big hitters, if you like to call them. Like I've got Son, I've got Kane. So basically, what was the logic, right? I had like 3 from Spurs. I've got Kane, Son, Lloris, right? I've got 3 from City. I've got Stones, De Bruyne, Gundogan. I've got 2 from Arsenal because Arsenal got a decent fixture in my opinion. Lacazette, Tierney. If I want, I can get Saka right now as well. But since I wanted 3 City players and I didn't have any other way to get them in, like I wanted to double up on City. But, I didn't see the upside with Stones and Diaz, because once they concede a goal, and if they do, I'm not saying they're going to concede a goal, right? But if they conceded a goal, it's essentially they are not going to get many attacking returns, are Stones and Ruben Diaz. So I thought against that as well. So this is the logic behind the team that I chose and why I chose these players. I still have one decision to make, and I also want to put it out in the open, so you guys can help me with that. I've got 0.2 million in the bank, and I can go from Saïs to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. So you guys need to let me know, do you think should I go for Aaron Wan-Bissaka or should I keep Saïs? I mean, I went for Saïs because he's been getting attacking returns, like he scored against Tottenham and he scored against Brighton. He almost scored against United as well. And with Everton not having Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and with Richarlison also kind of a doubt with injury and stuff, I was thinking that it's not such a bad decision to go for Roman Saïs. So this is one decision that is left. Otherwise, my team is final, guys. My captain is final. It's going to be Kevin De Bruyne. It was close between Kane and Kevin De Bruyne, but I just thought that KDB is in such good form and City is in such good form, so I decided to go for De Bruyne. And on the bench, I've got some cover. I've got the cheapest playing, player that I feel is might play is Mitchell. And then I've got Smith Rowe to cover all the other positions. If some of my forward or midfielder doesn't play, then Emil Smith Rowe can cover for him. And if some defender doesn't play, then Mitchell can cover for him. Dunn, obviously, is not going to play. So this is all about my team. Now I'm going to come back and read your comments. Excuse me. Right, guys. So we've got 56 people watching, and I welcome you all. Hey, Nehal. Thank you so much. Hey, Yash, Siddharth, Karthik. Please, if you enjoy what I do here on this channel, guys, please like this stream. And before I get started with answering your questions, there is a join button right next to the subscribe button, by which you can click that join button and you can become a member of the channel, if you want to support the channel a little more. So if you're interested, please do that. And that is it. So now let me get back and answer your questions. Ari says, do you think Cavani is going to start over Martial? That is the reason I didn't go for Martial. I was a little bit dubious about Martial because he didn't do too well in the last game as well. And whenever Cavani's come on, he's just done he's played amazingly, right? Especially the game against Southampton, and also United lost that last game, EFL Cup semi-final against City. So I felt that Solskjaer would like to win this game, and he might go with Cavani. That's the reason I didn't go with Martial. Thoughts on Yedlin, says Johan. Well, I had him in my draft, and I would love to have him as a bench player. I just don't want to play him against Sheffield United because I honestly feel that if Sheffield United are going to win a game or they're going to score a goal, it has to be against Newcastle, who are themselves not in the best of forms and are atrocious. So yeah. So in my opinion, Yedlin is a good bench option. Starting, I'm not so sure. I just wanted to have Wilson in the team just because I wanted to kind of divide the risk a little bit. I didn't want to just put 3 City, 3 Spurs, 3 Arsenal, 3 United. I just want to kind of wanted to get some players from different teams so that I can at least divide the risk a little bit. Thakif says, "Hey Wiz, do you use free hit?" Yes, I did use free hit, Thakif, and I had the option of not using it, but it meant I had to take a -8. That was too much. It's too much. Van of the game says, "I'm here, buddy." Welcome, Vans. Welcome. Light says, "Hey Wiz, think Sterling might start. He could really haul." I mean, Light Race, that's an interesting one. I had a long thought about Sterling, and Pep said he was fit, right? But sometimes when Pep says in his press conferences that a player is fit, and he puts them on the bench, so I didn't want to risk, especially on my free hit. I did not want to risk a player who I feel that is he's not gonna start. That is the reason I didn't go for Sterling. Also, there was a possibility for me to go for Jesus, and I know he is a good option against Brighton, and I did think about him, but then again I thought that I might go with Lacazette because he's in good form, been scoring goals, and been doing well recently, Lacazette, and Crystal Palace are not in the best of form either. So yeah, but since I went with Gundogan, that is the only reason I didn't go with Gabriel Jesus. Karthik says 8 playing, including Mitchell and Lowton, took a -4. Should I free hit? Well, Karthik, that looks like a free hit to me because Lowton and Mitchell are not going to give you too many points, so that essentially puts you down to 6 players. And I feel it's too less. It's in my opinion there are too less. I think you could free hit, and that way you'll have edge over the other players who won't. In this season, guys, this is such an uncertain season in my opinion, and I just think that we should play for the next game week. I honestly feel like I planned so long. I kept saving my free hit. What happened, guys? At the end, I went for the Spurs players because I thought that they got a fixture swing, they got Fulham, they got Leeds, and the games got postponed due to COVID. So in my opinion, let's not plan too long or too ahead in this season. Let's take it game week by game week, and that is how we should go. That's what I think. Amit says Adams for the next 3 game weeks, good option. Amit, he was fine, but since he doesn't have a double game week anymore, I think he's decent, not more than that. Matt says, "I've only 6 playing. I might wildcard in a balanced team for this week and the next." Well, Matt, if you want to wildcard, my friend, you don't have much time left. 35 minutes, I would say you go, you take out your drawing sheet, and you just make your team as quick as possible. There is not much time. But honestly, I feel this is not the best time to wildcard, with the fixtures being changed around and with the matches getting cancelled, with COVID. So many things going on, and you've still got a long season, 20 game weeks to go after this, right? So be careful, you won't have a wildcard after that. Amrit says, "Shot of 1.3 million in the same team. Any ideas?" Well, Amrit, 1.3 million is a lot, isn't it? Maybe you can downgrade a keeper. That's the only thing I can think of. But which keeper to get, I'm not so sure. But in this team, who would you downgrade? Because these players I want. Gundogan is obviously just you can just place Emil Smith Rowe and just take out Gundogan for Burka. That way you'll have a full team, and Emil Smith Rowe is a decent option as well, because I don't see many options to kind of change that much. Adrian says, "How many you had without your free hit?" I had 7, but I took a hit and I made it 9, but it was -8. Siddharth says, "It's a fantastic squad, 100 points for sure." Well, I would be so happy with that, bro. Hey Wiz, between Tierney and Wilson, who would you go for? Possibly Tierney, Pedro. Honestly, I feel Tierney is the better option. Wilson hasn't been in a good form. I just wanted him to, because he's playing against one of the worst defenses, a team which has got 1 point all season. That's the reason I wanted Wilson. But if I had a choice, I'd go for Tierney. Ari says deadline is 17:30. I'm not sure about your time, but the deadline is from half an hour from now, bro. Half an hour or 1 hour? Yeah, 1 hour from now. Yeah, the deadline is 1 hour from now. Sean says, hey, hope you're good. Do you think Sterling is a good shout instead of Kane? Sean, honestly, I think Sterling is a good shout individually if you talk about it. But, compared to Kane, I honestly feel that you should go for Harry Kane because he's nailed on, he's going to start, and he also has a good fixture. I honestly feel over Sterling, I think you should go for Kane. Surfer says, hi Wiz, just joined. Are you using free hit? Yes, I am using free hit, my friend. Yash says, Leno, Maguire, Stones, Reguilon, KDB, Bruno, Saka, Rodriguez. Interesting. Wilson, Kane, Martial. Yash, I think that's a decent squad. I like that team. You're going for Leno. I think that's fair enough. Reguilon, maybe I'm not so sure about Reguilon. You can go for Dyer if you want to go for a more nailed-on player because there was a little bit of a doubt about Reguilon. They said, maybe he would start, maybe not, something like that, right? But also you're going for Rodriguez and Martial. I also wanted to go for Martial, but I was just not sure that whether he was going to start or not, and maybe Cavani's going to get a game or something like that. That is the reason I didn't go for Martial, but otherwise the team looks good, my friend. Sean says, very true, thanks for the advice. You're welcome, Sean. Nihal says, -8 taken for 8 players, free hit saved, and then Cancelo might be benched. Yeah, that is the problem, you see, Nihal. I would love to have Cancelo in my team against Brighton at home. I know that as a pretty much a nailed-on clean sheet, along with that some attacking returns. But then Pep goes and does the Pep rule. He says that he was tired. We thought that he took him off at 45 minutes because he wanted to rest him for the game at the weekend. But he said he was tired. That is the reason I took him off. It's crazy. So crazy. Light Race says we are on the same points, 1023. That's fantastic, my friend, and I hope you have a great season. My overall rank is around 200k, and at this moment in time I'm pretty happy with the overall rank, and I just hope I can push on. Tanmay says, I'm saving my free hit because I feel it will come in handy in the future. As you can see, all the games are getting postponed. I understand totally where you're coming from, Tanmay. The thing is, I saved my wildcard exactly for this reason. I could have used it in game week 6, but I saved it until game week 16, and to be honest with you, I feel that I wasted it. I honestly feel that. Danforth, welcome Danforth. He says Sterling and Kane for Son, or Son and Kane. I'd say Son and Kane, Dan. Honestly, Dan says, why choose Gundogan? Well, because I want 3 City players and I don't have any other options, And I could go with Saka. Honestly, I could go with Saka. But I felt that Brighton played 120 minutes at the week, in the FA Cup and against Newport, whichever team it was, I just don't remember it. But Brighton did play 120 minutes, right? And it was a pretty strong team that Brighton played, and now they're having to play City. I feel that City can score more. With Arsenal, Tierney also played 120 minutes, but I still feel he's a better option than going with 3 Arsenal players. I feel 3 City players is better. Sully says, is your team confirmed? Yes, it is confirmed, my friend. I have one doubt, and I did ask the question to everybody. I put it out there. What do you think, guys? Roman Saiz or Aaron Wan-Bissaka? That is the last thing that is on my mind, and I can let the team be, or I can change Saiz to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I've got 0.2 million in the bank, so I would like your advice on that. Harvey says, anyone reply? I'm sorry, Harvey, I'll reply to you, my friend. He says, brought Foden in this game week, good or bad idea? Well, Harvey, Foden is, is a cheap player. It's kind of, a cheap route into the City team. If you want a more nailed-on player, you can possibly go with Gundogan, But Foden is, in my opinion, is a decent shout, But is he guaranteed to get 90 minutes? I think not. I don't think so. Vimal says, what about REA? That is a very interesting one. I thought about REA so much, but then I thought, Doherty has started the last 2 Premier League games. All of a sudden, Doherty started getting starts in the Premier League, and he was sent off. He had a red card, but that was for the game against Marine, right? Now Doherty is available to play, and while Mourinho was starting him in the league, why would he give Aurier a start, So that is the reason I didn't want to take a risk. As I said, I want to go with players I feel are nailed on. Wilson or Adams for the next 3 game weeks? Honestly, I haven't even seen Wilson's next fixtures because this is my free hit. Yeah, Wilson has some decent games, right? With Adams, the thing is he's not having a double game week, and that puts me a little bit off Adams, and his fixtures are difficult. I feel Wilson could be a good shout, my friend. Nahal says size, and FPL Knight says size. Well, I guess I'll have to keep that 0.2 million in the bank. Maybe I'll upgrade Dunn to Kilman then, just to have another playing player in my team. I guess I could do that, and I mean that's also a decent option. I could have a playing player in my team with a 0.2 million. Would make myself more secure, guys. Nahal says Pickford will fumble something from a corner. You got some. Yeah, Pickford is really not in the best form right now. Tanmay says Harvey Ferran Torres is 6.9 million. Ferran Torres is not gonna play, or maybe does, but I think he's isolating or something. Manamino says Aguero will miss Brighton trip. Jesus, yep, Jesus is a good shout, my friend. I'm saying that. I mean, if you want, you can go with Jesus for a free hit. If you want to take a punt on Jesus, why not? Why not? I wanted to take a punt on Jesus as well. I just felt that I've got Kevin De Bruyne, I've got Stones, and I think I have got enough coverage for City. That's the reason I went with Lacazette. Karthik says Mahrez in a free hit. Well, if you want to, Karthik, it's all about risk, guys. Just please understand, free hit. You can take a few risks, and they can pay off for you. It's just a 1 game. It's like a roulette, guys. You can take a risk, 1 or 2 risks if you want, and if they pay off, good enough. If they don't, you still don't have a bad team for the upcoming game week. So on your free hit, you should take a few punts. I mean, Roman size is kind of a punt for me, right? I mean, I can go with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I could go with, I could make a few changes. I could go with maybe Ruben Diaz as well, but I'm just I wanted to take a few punts, like Wilson, Roman size on my free hit is basically kind of like a punt. Do you reckon people who wildcard will shoot up the rankings this week or not? Mosiah, in my opinion, if they shoot up the rankings this game week, then they will fall down the rankings in the coming game weeks as well, because they'll have to take some hits to kind of accommodate all the players that they're gonna be missing out on. Free hit right now is difficult. Start Wan-Bissaka and Shaw, or Wilson and Saka. I'd say out of those two, I'd say Wilson and Saka. Both nailed on. NATO or Foden? NATO, Danforth. NATO. Raghav says, what are your thoughts on NATO? Well, my thoughts are the same. I feel that NATO is a good option, especially against an Everton team who are, not in the best of form. Maybe Wolves are not going to score too many, but I just reckon that it's going to be a tight game. So you can go with NATO. He definitely is in good form, and not that expensive as well, 6 million. Why go for Peacock as a sub keeper? Well, I don't have the money, KD. I don't have the money to go for Areola or anybody else who's a playing keeper this game week. So what am I supposed to do? I just feel that Lloris is nailed on. He's going to play. And if not, then I don't have the money to go for anybody else. Amato says Darlow or Leno. To be honest with you, I had Darlow on my initial free hit team, but then I let him go because I was just not sure whether Darlow's gonna start or Dubravka's gonna start, because the comments by Steve Bruce were a little bit dubious. He said that Darlow is he's had a good season, but Dubravka's come back strong as well, this and that. So I just wanted to kind of just reduce the risk. Can you show your non-free hit team? Yes, Amrit, I can, but let me see, how do I do that? How do I show my non-free hit team, guys? I should be knowing this, right? I'm supposed to be an expert in FPL but I don't know how to show you my non-free team, bro. Honestly, got no idea. If anybody can tell me, I can try. By the way, we got. Oh, he said go to points. There you go. See, we've got amazing people here. So this is my non-free hit team. You can have a look at my non-free hit team, and then I'll go back to my free hit team. Murphy says I don't have my free hit. I took a minus 12 point hit and will wildcard next game week. Well, Murphy, without seeing your team, I cannot tell you my thoughts, bro. But you know, if you feel this is the right way to go, but if you wanted to kind of wildcard next week, my friend, I think you could have saved this minus 12 by wildcarding now and taking, you know, minus 4 planning for the next game week as well. I mean, minus 12 is just a bit too much for me. Alright, so this is my team without the free hit, guys. You can have a look so that I can go back to, and you know, I can show my original team. By the way, guys, we've got 70 people watching this stream, and if you're enjoying it, guys, I really, really, you know, would appreciate it if you like and you know, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it, guys. We're trying to grow this community into a into a bigger and a better one, and I need your support. So please do like. I'm trying to answer all your questions right here. Todd says, show your points. Yeah, done that. Joseph says, I feel Gundogan is a knee jerk. Maguire or Wolves defender. Well, Shopnan, I went for Sias, so you know, I have the option to go for Aaron Van Bissaka, and I still is out in the open, is out in the air. So you know, depends on what I decide, but I still have Sias in my team. Khaleesi says, hi Wiz, how about James from Everton? Well, Khaleesi, I think James could be a decent option, but the problem is who is he going to kind of play his through balls to, or who is he going to feed? Dominic Calvert-Lewin is injured, Richarlison is a doubt as well. Who's going to play for them? Not even sure. Tosin? Is he still even their player? Not sure who's going to play striker for them, you know. Francisco says, Dyer. Yeah, Dyer is a good option. Honestly, if you kind of want to save some money on Lloris, you can go for Dyer. And it's interesting as well, guys, because Dyer has been taking free hits for Spurs, and I find that interesting because, you know, free kicks is kind of, you know, he's been on all the attacking free kicks, the direct free kicks. Kane has not been taking them, Son has not been taking them, Dyer has been taking them, and you know, that could be interesting. So if you want to save some money, yeah, why not? Siddharth says, bro, need to know something. Will Darlow start? I'm unable to fund Lauricio. Shall I target Sheffield versus Newcastle? As I just said, Siddharth, I'm not sure whether Darlow is going to start or not. I think he should. But if you want to target the Newcastle defense, I'd honestly say you go for Yedlin, you know, because we're not sure about Darlow, not even about Dubravka. So I think we're still a little bit up in the air about who's going to start in the goal, especially after the comments by Steve Bruce. So you know, I would honestly, if you're on a free hit, I would go safe. And final one, Nato or Gundogan. Well, if you can, you know, if you don't have any other Wolves players and you want to take a little bit of a punt, I think Nato could be a decent option too, my friend. Honestly, yeah. Wimmel says, Darlow, Cancelo, Dyer, Tierney. Right, so that's decent. Again, I told you about Darlow, not gonna talk about it again and again, but you know my thoughts about that. Bruno, KDB, Son, Smith Rowe. Right, so you've got Smith Rowe in there. Kane, Laka, Wilson. Wimmel, I think that's decent, my friend. Again, I gave you my thoughts about Darlow, otherwise the team looks pretty solid. You know, you had to put Smith Rowe in there, maybe because you're going for 3 expensive defenders, or maybe because of your team value, but I feel it's good. If you feel Darlow's gonna start, then that's a pretty solid team right there. Khaleesi says, I need a 7.7 million player. Khaleesi, there are not many players. You could think about Zaha if you want. I mean, he always does well against Arsenal, especially winning penalties against Arsenal is Zaha's forte, you know. So that could be something there as well. Otherwise, there are not many options in that price range. Who else could I recommend to you? I just honestly feel in midfield there are not many options there in this price range. Jethro says, how about downgrading Tierney to Holding? Well, Jethro, in my opinion, Tierney's got attacking threat, which Rob Holding absolutely doesn't. So, you know, maybe from corners he can put a header or something. But Tierney has been doing really well, so I just prefer him over Holding. Wiz, I've got 9 players, which will involve today with the likes of KDB, Fernandes, Neves, Saka, Martial, Dyer, Shaw, Stones, Diaz. Is it right for me to see out this game week with 9 players? Yeah, I think that's perfectly fine, my friend. I think the players which you have are pretty good. You've got KDB, you've got Fernandes. The only problem is you don't have the Spurs players. I would be a little bit concerned about that, Devendra. Fast says, why aren't you answering my questions? Well, I didn't read it, my friend. Stones, Cancelo, Tierney, and Yedlin are good enough. Well, if you want, my friend, yeah, that's pretty much good enough. Faz, yes. ISP says Sterling plus Newcastle or Rashford plus Wilson. The problem is, Sterling. Just not sure whether Sterling. How long is Sterling gonna get? Is he going to start the game? Is he gonna come off the bench? I'd say Rashford plus Wilson. At least we know that they're gonna start the game, right? That's the only thing I can say about that. Caleb says Wilson plus Rashford plus Saka, or Kane plus Nato plus Smith Rowe. Oh, that's a very difficult one, because Wilson, Rashford, Saka are all good players. Really, they can all score points with Kane, Smith Rowe, Nato. You've got one excellent option in Kane there, but Smith Rowe and Nato are fine. I mean, that's pretty much in the balance, my friend. If I was you, I'd possibly go Wilson, Rashford, Saka. If you have Son, though. Matthew Brown says, "What's your free hit draft looking like?" Oh, I forgot to go back there. Damn, I was just showing somebody my previous team and my team without the free hit, and I left it there. So this is how my team looking like, by the way. Zod says, "Hey, Viz, any late news from today?" Well, Zod, I don't think so, because the deadline is like 1.5 hours before the game starts, so now we don't get any early team news, so yeah. Caleb says, "Thoughts on 4-5-1? Well, I think 4-5-1 is good if you're just going for Kane. It's pretty good. Vimal says, "Why don't you go for Eze for Gundogan?" Well, I just don't feel that Crystal Palace are playing well. They did win one game, but that was like against not the best of teams, right? So in my opinion, Arsenal are in good form, and and I think Gundogan is in good form as well. United have a guaranteed clean sheet. Burnley doesn't attack much, so I feel Aaron Wan-Bissaka will be better than Saïs. Yeah, I know, my friend. That's the reason I'm giving myself a time to think. Zod says no Cancelo. Yeah, there is no Cancelo here. As I told you already, I've been saying this for the long time. I had Cancelo in all my drafts. I would love to have Cancelo, but Pep's comments about Cancelo put me off a little bit. That is the reason. I didn't go for Cancelo. I just didn't want to take a risk, and that's the reason I didn't go for Cancelo. I would love to have Cancelo. Honestly saying, I would love to have Cancelo, but if he doesn't start, I'm just gonna be crazy. Fast says, "Which two City defensive assets would you prefer?" I'd say if you're going for two, then you should go for Cancelo and one another like Stones or Diaz. But if you're going for one, don't go for Cancelo. Dan says, "Final team: Lloris, Stones, Maguire, Tierney, KDB, Sterling, Nato, Bruno, Saka, Wilson, Kane." So you got KDB and Sterling, Dan. Nice one there. If Sterling starts, that could be really good for you, my friend. FPL Legend says, "Best midfielder, 4.9 or less, except." I didn't read your except, but I'd say at this moment in time, I'd say Emil Smith Rowe for this game week. Emil Smith Rowe. My overall rank is 200k at the moment. Amrit says 6-7 million forward for the next 5 game weeks. I already have Bamford. Amrit, I'd say you can go for, if you want to double up on Leeds, which I don't suggest too much, you can go for Rodrigo. Otherwise, I'd say, there are not many forwards in the price range that we should go for. Wilson, possibly, if you want to have a look at Wilson, that could be one. Not in the best of forms, though, I have to say. But Wilson is another one, except Bamford. Not many options there now. Che Adams as well, if you want to go there, but they don't have a double game week anymore. I only have 4 players playing. What should I do? You should possibly think about free hitting, my friend. Geeta says, "Hey Sam, Son, KDB, Fernandes for Cap. Also De Gea for Martinez." Yeah, De Gea is fine. I mean, out of captain, I'd say KDB. I mean, they're all fantastic options, my friend. If I was, as you know, I've chosen KDB, and I've got all those 3 players as well in my team. So, I'd say KDB is a decent shout, because Brighton played like 120 minutes midweek, and they're not in the best of forms. Himayu says, why isn't anybody considering Kane or Son as captain against Fulham? The reason we are not considering, the reason why I'm not considering captain, because I think I've got 3 Spurs players and I've got Spurs covered. Just in case they haul, like Kane, Son, they haul, they get points. My team should be fine, honestly. Gundogan or Foden? Raghav, this is, a high risk, high reward kind of question. If you want to take the risk and you think Foden starts, I feel that he can score good points, but I'm not sure he starts. That is the problem. Budzili says, Wiz, remember B, you're going fast. Remember we used to have like 20 viewers and now you're up to 100. Thank you so much, Budzili. Trying my best, bro. Thank you so much. If I go for Martial in place of Kane, I can put Saka in place of Smith-Rowe. No chance, Amrit. No chance. Don't take out Kane for Martial. Go for Kane and go for Smith-Rowe. I don't think Saka plus Martial can outscore Kane, because Kane has a better fixture as well. So in my opinion, don't sell Kane. Yeah, moving on. Fast says, I have Leno. Should I go for Tierney or a Man U defender? Well, if you have Leno, I feel you can go for a Manchester United defender to kind of divide the risk a little bit. You know, that's I think that could be a decent one. Jethro says, Size and Holding or Kilman and Tierney. The problem with Kilman is I'm not sure if he starts, Jethro. You know, that is the reason. Otherwise, I would love to say Kilman and Tierney, but if you want 2 players who start, then you should go for Size and Holding. Akshat says Shaw, Bay or Lindelof. I'm not sure which one of those actually starts, Akshat, because Shaw was injured and Bailey got injured in the FA Cup as well. Lindelof, I'm not sure which one of them starts. I'd suggest if you want to go for a United defender, you go for Van Bissaka or Harry Maguire. Those are the only 2 which I'm sure which are going to start. Aditya says, why not risk Cancelo? You have Mitchell, who's almost guaranteed to have a start. Aditya, the problem is, if Cancelo doesn't start, I feel he's still gonna come on, right? If he comes on for 10, 20, 15 minutes, then it's not gonna be the best, right? That is the reason I just went for the safe option, Stones, because if they get a clean sheet, Stones is gonna get one too. That is the logic right there. I wish Pep hadn't said that about Cancelo and I could have gone for 2 City defenders. I would be so happy with that. But, sometimes things are not gonna work as you want them to. Which 4.6 million keeper is best for this week? I'm not even sure if there's a 4.6 million keeper except Brighton or Fulham keeper, which you should which you don't want to go there. You don't want to go there, bro. I honestly feel you should make some money from somewhere and you should get a better keeper. At least get Leno or something like that. Trey says, should I have Richarlison? Trey, I'm not sure if he's fit. Nato, Saka or Eze? I mean, out of those, I'm tempted to say you should go for either Nato or Saka. I think there are better options. And in better form as well. Maguire should be nailed. Yeah, I mean, Shockstar said that he's gonna start Maguire even if he runs the risk of having 5 yellows before the game against Liverpool. So that makes Maguire pretty much nailed on. Rosalind says, my team: De Gea, Diaz, Cancelo, Tierney, Fernandes, Rashford, De Bruyne, Saka, Son, Wilson, Kane. Any weak spots? Should I do some changes? Well, that looks pretty decent to me, my friend. As long as you have a good bench, I think looks pretty decent to me. George Lyle says, surely Lindelof. He started against City in the semi-final as soon as he was fit. Well, I understand what you mean, but honestly, I feel that Maguire is just more nailed on, and Aaron Van Bissaka, and if you're in a free hit, you should go for players who are more nailed on. Dwayne says, what did Pep say about Cancelo? Hang on, let me find if I can read it. Excuse me, guys, let me have a drink of water, and meanwhile, like the stream. Alright, let's I'll see if I can read it for you. What Pep said about Cancelo. That is the reason Cancelo is not in my team. That is the only reason, guys. Remember that. He said, where is it? No, I can't find it, but he said something to the effect that I took him off because he was tired and something like that. It was crazy a little bit. Shrey says Richarlison rakhoon kya nahi. Richarlison is not sure to start. I mean, he's possibly there's an injury doubt there, and also without Dominic Albert-Lewin, I think that there are better options. You can go for a little bit more money. You can get somebody like Rashford. You can. Honestly, I feel that there are better options, and you can use that money better. Or, you can go for Lacazette. You can downgrade to Wilson. You can upgrade in midfield. So there are options, in my opinion. This is my free hit. Tashi, this is my free hit. Who do captain, says Pro Gamer? Bruno, Son, Kane or KDB? Well, if you have both Son and Kane, I'd say you can go for Bruno or KDB. I just prefer KDB, because of the home fixture, and I feel that Burnley are slightly better defensively than Brighton. That is the reason I'm not going with Bruno. I'm going with KDB. Sridhar says Martial or Lacazette. Well, Sridhar, you can see my team and you know my decision right there, my friend. I'm going with Martial. Going with Lacazette. Apologies. Cancelo for Walker. Well, Neil, I'm not sure. As I said already, if you want, you can go with Cancelo. I'm not sure about who is going to start there, because the Pep Guardiola's comments about Cancelo were not too encouraging. Honestly, I just felt, I know that Cancelo still is gonna start and I'm gonna lose a lot of points with Cancelo, but his comments were not encouraging, Pep Guardiola's. What about Auba? Well, Wimmel, I just don't want to go there. He's not been in the best of forms. Yes, he scored in the FA Cup, but 12, it's so expensive, Aubameyang, but I feel he's not worth it at this moment in time. I think Saka, Tierney, Lacazette, Emil Smith-Rowe, these are the kind of players you want to own from Arsenal. You don't want to spend that much money on a single player from Arsenal. Martial or Lacazette? Yeah, I've already answered that, Sridhar. I prefer Lacazette because I don't know whether Martial is going to start, or maybe the manager can give Cavani a start. So I'm a little bit kind of in two minds. That's the reason I went with Lacazette. I am Sally says, thank you, my friend. Good luck. Good luck to you too, my friend. Nehal says, Justin or Dallas to Stones long term. To be honest, Nehal, Justin has been doing really well, and I'm not sure I see him losing his place anytime soon. With Leeds, losing their double game week, I'm not sure if I'm too much, in on Dallas. So maybe Dallas, that could be an option. They do have a decent single game week in game week 19. But I'd say if you want long term, I'd say Dallas. That's. But if I was you, I'd possibly want to have Justin and Dallas both in my team. But if you want to sell one, I'd say Dallas. NATO or Saka? Who do you prefer for this game week? Well, if I had the option, I'd possibly go with NATO, because I assume you already have Tierney or you already have one Arsenal player in your team. So, if I was you, I'd possibly divide the risk a little bit. Sid says, you are skipping me, Wiz. No, Sid, I'm not skipping you, bro. I apologize. I'm trying, my friend. Newcastle are not good in any way, Wilson. Well, Sid, the thing is, Newcastle are not good, and I agree with that. But then they play against Sheffield United, who are also not good in any way, so basically it is the battle of the two worst teams, and I hope that there are going to be some goals in that game, and Wilson can be among them, because he has a tendency, he's a streaky player, and he has a tendency to kind of score in these games. So in my opinion, FPL Jug says, guys are fighting it out on our Discord. Well, generally, there are not many fights in there, Jug, so I hope you can sort it out, my friend, because I surely can't. Someone says, loved your comment on planning for just 1 week at a time. That's the way to play FPL this year. Thank you, Soman. And I honestly feel that is the way to go forward. That is the reason I'm free hitting. I had a very good chance to save my free hit, but I just don't want to think long term. I already blew my wildcard in game week 16 for nothing, so I'm not going to plan long term. I'm just going to take it 1 game week at a time. Let's see where it takes us. Liam says, evening, I'm captaining Son. Well, Liam, that's a good decision. I think Son is a fantastic captaincy option, and good luck to you. Hey Razif, welcome. Neves or Gundogan? Well, the only reason you want to pick Neves over Gundogan is because he's on penalties. Any other reason, I'd pick Gundogan. If you feel, you want somebody with penalties, then you can go with Ruben Neves. Sid says, have to agree with you, my friend. Thoughts on Darlow with Dubravka returning? Well, Sid, as I already said, I wanted to have Darlow in my team as well. And if you see my video, he's in my initial free hit draft as well. But, I just, with the comments by Steve Bruce about Dubravka having a great game against Arsenal and him coming back, and Darlow also having a great season, I just, every player I feel that doesn't have a chance to start or maybe is a little bit dubious, I tend to kind of replace a little bit. So by the way, if I'm not, guys, I'm still in the air about Aaron Wan-Bissaka or Roman Saiz. So you have to give me your opinion. I gave you so many advices. Now I ask you, first, to like this stream and subscribe to the channel, and 2, to give me your opinion on AWB or Roman Saiz, Aaron Wan-Bissaka or Saiz for my team. Because if I don't want to go with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, then I'm going to upgrade my bench player Dunn to Kilman. Sterling or Rashford? Well, it depends upon you. How much risk are you willing to take? If you feel that Sterling is going to start 100%, you go with Sterling, otherwise go with Rashford. Razif says, is it okay to go for Martial over Lacazette? It's perfectly okay, my friend. I honestly feel that it is not a point of Martial being a bad player or anything. I just feel that, with Solskjaer wanting to rotate a bit, he might give Cavani some minutes, and that is the reason I didn't want to take a risk, because I feel Lacazette is going to start. Jethro says, when are you planning to bench boost? Jethro, I'm not planning to bench boost in Game Week 19 anymore. So as I said, one game week at a time. I haven't planned ahead, but maybe in Game Week 26. FPL Jack says, I'm fighting it out here, Viz. Right there. Matt says, can't decide whether to keep Justin. Matt, he scored a fantastic goal in the FA Cup. He's been starting all the games. I see no reason to drop Justin. Marvel Gunner says, what about Sterling? I don't know, my friend. Don't know about that. Honestly, Pep said he was fit, but what does that mean? Does that mean he's going to get a start? Not so sure. Not so sure. Pro Gamer says, I think AWB. Zodiac says, Bissaka is the only good defensive asset, so if a clean sheet miss, he can often offer anything else. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I know that he does have 1 goal and 1 assist this season, but he doesn't offer too much in attack. I agree with that. Ted says, whenever we have similar teams, we tend to go up the ranks with nice points. For instance, last game week. Sid, do we have similar teams? Love to know that. By the way, I think if a decision has been made, I think I should at least upgrade my bench. So I should at least get a player that I feel is going to at least get some minutes. So just in case I need my bench, here comes Kilman. And now I've got 2 Wolves players. Why do I do this to myself? No. But I guess this is the way we are going to have to go. Right. So Roman Saiz has been fixed in my team, fellas. And I know now Mitchell is going to go and get a clean sheet, and he's going to ruin all our plans. Salam says, is this your final lineup? Yeah, Salam. Essentially, it was final. The last decision was between Wan-Bissaka and Saiz, and I've decided to go with Roman Saiz. Wilson or Lacazette? Out of these 2, I'd say Lacazette. Divya, yeah. Raghav says, hi Viz, go with Saiz. Everton is low of confidence. Well, the decision has been made, Raghav. I went with Saiz. Bob says, how sure are you Stones will start? Well, Bob, I honestly feel that there's a very high probability. With Pep Guardiola, nobody can say 100%. Never can say that. But with Laporte injured and Ake isolating, I don't see too many options in the center of defense. So I think Ruben Dias and Stones are pretty much nailed on to start. Nahal says, when will you plan on playing your wildcard? Well, to be honest with you, Nahal, I think I'm going to play it in Game Week 25 or to prepare for my free hit in Game Week 26, which is going to be a double game week as well. So I think essentially in Game Week 25, I haven't thought about it too much, but at the back of my mind, I know there's going to be another big double game week in 26. So I'm going to play my wildcard in 25 so I can prepare not only for the bench boost in game week 26, but also for the blank game week in 29. So that's the way I'm thinking about it right now. But if I can prepare for my bench boost with free transfers, then I might save my wildcard as well. But at the back of my mind, I still have it game week 25. Kieran says, was I right to use my wildcard? Well, it all depends upon if you have, because if you're using a wildcard in game week 18 right now, you have to have a long-term strategy. You need to know which players you are going to bring in the next game week and the game week after that, so that you can make the best of the upcoming game weeks as well. I feel that wildcard is one of the most powerful chips in the game, and you just have to be wise in using it. There is never a bad time to use your wildcard. It's all about your planning. If you have a plan, then it's fine. Zodiac says, why not Dyer? No chance Fulham will score. Well, I've got Lloris in it. Yeah, I've got Lloris, so I do agree with you, my friend. I don't think they will score, so yeah. Bob says, wouldn't De Gea be better than Lloris since Burnley has much lower XG than Fulham? He's also cheaper. Well, Bob, I did think about that, but I feel that Spurs are playing at home and United are playing away from home. So that does give Spurs a little bit of an advantage. And also Fulham are coming back from coronavirus. So I feel that they're going to be more winded. They've not had training for such a long time. I feel that Fulham is the better team to target a little bit. Can I use free hit in this game week or in game week 19? Well, Abhishek, you can use it, yes. Depending upon your strategy, you can use it in this game week or you can use it in the next. If you feel you have 8 or 9 good players for this game week, you can possibly roll your free hit and you can use in the next game week to target the doubles. Hakif says, Leno or Ramsdale? Oh, that's difficult, my friend, and I know why you're going for the Ramsdale, but I'd like to say that none of these are the best options, but if I was to pick one of those two, I'd possibly go with Leno. If I use my free hit, will my exact team before the free hit return the next week? Yes, Suleiman, it will. Should I take some negative points? Well, Divya, it all depends upon your team, my friends. I mean, how many players do you have? If you're having to take a minus points hit, how many players do you have playing already? Aditya says, why not Maguire for headers plus clean sheets and Dunn to Douglas to get 0.1 extra? Well, do I still have Dunn? No, I have Gilman right now, yeah. The thing is, I do want some bench cover as well, for one. And two, because I just feel that if I wanted to go for a United defender, I'd possibly go with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, but because that gives me kind of a little bit cover. Yeah, but if you want to go with Maguire, I'm saying he's a decent option too. I mean, United can keep a clean sheet, but just wanted to divide the risk a little bit. So I've got Bruno from United and Romain Saiz, who's been in good form as well, and Everton don't have too much attacking options. So maybe James Rodriguez can take a corner and, Yerry Mina can score a header. That is the only possibility I see from Everton. Honestly, they're not in the best of form. And Wolves are playing well too. Saiz or Semedo? Well, Raja, out of those two, I'd say Saiz, Saiz has been in good scoring form. He's been scoring from corners and stuff, so I'd say Saiz. Semedo has shown brilliant patches, brilliant form in patches, but hasn't converted to attacking returns this season. Sokrat says, who to play, Son or Kane, and why? Because I plan on playing Oba as a differential. Well, if you're playing Oba in midfield, my friend, then I'd say you should go with Kane. Because Oba and Son in midfield would, I think, hinder your team a little bit. You can go with Kane and Oba, but I don't suggest to go with Oba because he's too expensive. And even if he scores 1 goal against Crystal Palace, I still don't feel the price is justified. Is there back-to-back weeks? Yes, Christopher. Game week 19, there are going to be some teams who are having double matches. I can show you right here. If you go down, you can see Liverpool have a double game week. Manchester City have a double game week. Fulham and United, all these teams, they have double game weeks, starting from Leicester, I think, or West Ham. Yeah, starting from West Ham, they all have double game weeks. So West Ham, West Brom, Leicester, Chelsea, Leeds, Southampton, Fulham, United, City, Aston Villa, Liverpool, Burnley, all have double game weeks in game week 19. So I hope you're ready. Manamano says, I'll buy Yerry Mina just cause you said that. No, don't do that. I was just trying to, kind of prophesize or think about how the game is gonna go and how Everton are going to score. My crystal ball says that's the only way they are gonna score is from a corner from James Rodriguez, and but don't go for Yerry Mina. I didn't mean that, my friend. Sid says Gundogan or Saka. Well, Sid, I have the same team. I have the same choice for my team, and I just went for Gundogan. But if you don't have Lacazette, then you should prefer going for Saka. James says, who to captain, Son, KDB or Bruno, and why? Well, if you got Son and Kane, James, then I think you pretty much got Spurs covered. And, even if they haul, you pretty much have two good players who are going to haul from that team. With KDB, I feel there is more upside because, they're playing against Brighton, who played 120 minutes in the FA Cup. KDB is on penalties as well, and KDB is in really good form, and City as well. So, I think there is pretty much a lot of upside to captain KDB. Bruno, of course, is always a good option, but this game week I feel he's second to KDB. Play 4-5-1. Why not? Get Kane and get 5 midfielders, including Rashford. Could work, my friend. I made a 4-5-1 team as well. I made so many drafts. I essentially have included one player or another at one time or another. But, well, you have to tinker, right? Should I keep Reguilon or buy Dyer? Well, to be honest with you, I'd like the look of Reguilon. He's more attacking. But I feel Dyer is more nailed on a little bit than Reguilon this game week, because Ben Davies is also there and Jose might rotate him. With Dyer, I feel he's more nailed on, that is the only thing. Callum Wilson or Reguilon? Bob, if you feel Reguilon is nailed on and you think he's going to start, I'd say Reguilon, but if you don't think he's going to start and you feel there's a chance of rotation, then you should possibly think about Callum Wilson. Rashford or Kane? Kane. Salam says, is this the final lineup? Yes, Salam, it is, my friend. Sid says, now Yerry Mina is going to score an own goal from a delivery flicked on by Sias. I hope so, I really hope so, my friend. Laching says, for a -8, McTominay, Sterling, KDB and Wilson. Rashford, KDB, Wilson, Cancelo. So KDB and Wilson are common, so it's between McTominay and Sterling and Rashford and Cancelo. I would go with B. Laching, I honestly feel that B has a little bit more safety, because even if Sterling doesn't start, that's a very expensive asset to kind of get benched. If Cancelo doesn't start, then at least you still get Rashford there. So I'd say B, Sid says, that's how Wiz's jinx works. Well, you know me. I keep jinxing on Twitter, guys. By the way, if you would love to, if you like to see my jinxes during the games, I keep tweeting my thoughts during the games. And mostly, I'm trying my Wizard jinxes. So you should follow me on Twitter, guys. The handle is @WizFPL. Pretty sure you're gonna have some fun interacting over there as well. IBS says, Nato or Gundogan? Nato or Foden, says Matt. Well, out of Nato and Foden, Matt, I'd say Nato because I feel he's more nailed on. Out of Nato and Gundogan, that's a pretty much touch and go. I don't see any reason to go for one over the other. If you have KDB and one defender, you can go with Nato to kind of divide the risk a little bit. At this point in FPL, I can't take any -4, so I'm just keeping my McCarthy in goal. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, you don't have to have 11 players every game week. I mean, if you have like 8 good players in your team, I think you're pretty much fine. Manamino says, I'm jinxing a Pedro Neto low bottom corner shot. As long as Size assists him, I don't have a problem with that. What if Martial comes in for Laka, Saka for Gundogan, Kilman for Tierney, De Gea for Lloris? My funds work with this. Well, you're gonna get Martial, you're gonna get Saka. The problem is Kilman. I don't think Kilman starts the game, my friend, and that is the reason I don't want you to go for Kilman. Otherwise, Amrit, I like the options, but I feel that Kilman is not gonna start because Conor Cody and Roman Saiz are gonna start with Eight Nori and Semedo. They're playing with 4 at the back now, so I don't think there's a place for Kilman there. That's what I feel. Adrian says, if I make a transfer, will free hitting cancel the transfer? Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Alan says, Martial or Wilson? Well, if you have those two options, bro, I'd say Martial. You have that much money left and you can go for Martial over Wilson. Why not? Chandler says, Richarlison for long term. Well, and Everton don't have... what are the fixtures of Everton? I'm not even been considering Everton players, and let me check. Oops. Let me put the screen for anybody who wants to see my team. Now let me check the Everton fixtures for you. Guys, last 15 minutes left, so if you haven't locked your teams, I'd suggest you to go and do it. I don't see too much upside in having Richarlison, my friend, Wolves, Aston Villa, Leicester, Leeds, United. I think the fixtures are difficult in my opinion, so if you have another option, then I would not go for that. Richarlison. I think there are better options for the price you can get, especially with DCL not there. Suleiman says Maguire or Bissaka. Suleiman, that's totally up to you, my friend. I mean, there's not much between them. I'd say I'd like to go with Maguire because Maguire has the possibility to kind of take a header or score a goal. So yeah. Other options for captaincy. Can you please help out? Yeah. So which options do you have, Mubarak? You tell me, and I'll give you my opinion on that. Which options do you have in your team? Rehan says, should I captain Son or Bruno? Well, Rehan, I think they are both fantastic options. I mean, if you want to go for a more kind of, explosive pick, you can go with Son. With Bruno Fernandes, he's on penalties, and you already know that Manchester United do tend to win a lot of penalties, right? So that does make Bruno a more attractive asset than possibly Son at this moment, because Son is a very good finisher, but the problem is Spurs do not create that many chances. Sid says, I bought both Gundogan and Saka, now I have to play one. Don't waste your money like that, bro. Bring Emil Smith-Rowe and invest the money elsewhere, maybe upgrade Stones to Diaz or something like that. Don't waste your money on the bench. So now it's time to sell DCL, pretty much, Halim, because DCL is injured and, the fixtures are not the best. And even before he got injured, he wasn't doing too well. So when he comes back and he's fit, maybe you can buy him back, right? But maybe now's the time to sell DCL. Yeah, you're right. Telles and Richarlison for this game week. Vladimir, are you sure that Telles is going to start over Luke Shaw? Whether Shaw's fit or not, what's happening there, I'm not sure. And Richarlison also, I'm just not sure whether he's going to play. And if he does, then he might be a decent option. Yes, I agree with you. But with DCL absent, I'm not sure if he's the best option. But for this game week, you want to take a punt on Richarlison for one game week, you might as well. With Telles, I'm not sure, because on a free hit, I would like to say that you choose the players which are more nailed on. I mean, I know you all want to take punts on a free hit, but at least take a punt on a player which you know is going to start, right? Will Reguilon start? I have no idea, my friend. And to be honest with you, I'd like to know. Let me see if I can find something on the notes that I made before coming onto my stream. Let me see if I can find something for you. Where is Tottenham? For some reason, yeah, there you go. So, no, I don't have anything on regular. I think there is a chance that Reguilon starts. Pretty good chance, but I can't say with 100% certainty. No. Sid says I'm on a free hit, can't decide on getting one of them. Well, Sid, the problem is even if you get both of them, it doesn't make a difference in it because the thing is you're gonna be only able to field a team of 11 players. What is the point of having both of them if one of them is not gonna play? Better to kind of take money out of one of them and invest elsewhere. Maybe upgrade a defender, maybe upgrade a keeper or something like that. Don't waste your money. Why De Bruyne captain over Kane? Well, Amr, I think I've got 3 players from Tottenham, and I think that's pretty much enough to cover for the captaincy of Kane, because I see that I honestly feel that City are going to do well against Brighton. They beat United. I mean, De Bruyne was really good in that game, and De Bruyne has been really good. And against small teams at home, generally against West Brom was an anomaly, right? But I feel City is improving in form, So yeah, that's the reason. But if you want to captain Kane, 100% a great option as well. I've got nothing against it. Absolutely nothing. Right, so the comments have dried up, guys, so that means I've answered a lot of your questions and pretty happy. What do you think of Arsenal from lately from a fan perspective, not an FPL manager? I'm pretty happy, bro. Honestly, being an Arsenal fan and an FPL manager in this season was so hard. But yeah, I'm so happy that Arsenal are finally picked up their form. Very happy with that. Kyle says Son for Rashford. Yes, I'd say yes. Son has the better fixture and the little bit, more upside I see with Son. I captain Sterling for this game week. Do you think it's a good idea? Zainal, it's about more risk, more reward, but if I was you, I would not captain Sterling, just because of the risk that he doesn't start. I'd say go with KDB, go with Kane, go with Son. At least they're sure to start, right? Why take a risk in this game week, especially because if you get a good score in this game week, your rank is gonna jump. Remember that. Reguilon or Tierney? Out of those two, I'd say Tierney has more attacking potential, more attacking upside, but the chance of a clean sheet, I think Reguilon has more chance of a clean sheet. Matthew Brown says Saka and Holding or Smith Rowe and Tierney. Whoa, that's a little bit tough. I'd say Smith Rowe and Tierney. A little bit, I feel that there's a little bit more upside to that with Smith Rowe and Tierney. Jurgen says, why not a Spurs defender? Well, Jurgen, I've got their keeper, so I got the defense covered. Abhinash says, City double up on defense. I would love to have a City double up on defense, Abhinash. Unfortunately, I wanted Cancelo as my second defender and just not sure whether he's going to start, so I decided against it. Daniel says, thank you for your answer. Appreciate it from Kuala Lumpur. Thank you so much for joining the stream. Lots of love, my friend. Young says, I used wildcard. Any 4.6 million or below goalie you recommend? Siang, I don't on a wildcard for long term. I would say you can go for somebody like Melier. You could go for somebody. Who else is a decent keeper? This season, for some reason there are not many good goalkeepers in that price range. Let me have a look for you. By the way, guys, 10 minutes left. Lock your teams. Lock and load, my friends. So I'd say Melier is one, and Johnstone is another one. There are not many options in this range, and unfortunately, having to say that. Maybe Sanchez from Brighton could be your option, but I wouldn't look beyond that because there are not many options in this range. If you can, so there is Melier, there is Johnston and Areola. I wouldn't recommend. Maybe Sanchez from Brighton. Not many options in this range. Siang, I apologize. I don't know. Stones or Diaz? Sid, if you have the option, I'd say Diaz, because I think he's even more nailed on than Stones. So yeah. PJ3 says Smith Rowe, Rashford and Lacazette or Saka, Nato and Kane. So it's basically, I think Saka, Nato, and Kane have more upside. PJ. Rashford or Sterling? Rashford. I feel Rashford is more nailed on. Sterling has a great fixture. If you feel he starts, go for Sterling, please. You know, don't later on, please, guys. I'm giving you only the information or the opinion which I have. If Sterling starts, honestly, I am not to blame because, Pep said he was fit. He never said he was going to start or didn't give any indication. So we're just guessing here, right? Nahal says, team locked. KDB captain, Cancelo, Stones, KDB, Son, Emil Smith-Rowe, Saka, Bruno, Kane. -8 for these 8 players. Good luck to you, Nahal. Well done on saving that free hit. Smelly Wab says, time to lock your teams. Absolutely, guys. Abhinay says, thank you, you're welcome. Is Joe Linton good option? I'm not so sure about Joe Linton. He's done well in one game, but, could be, if you can't afford Wilson, you want to go for him, but I wouldn't go there. Sid says, thank you, my friend, you're the best. Well, cheers, Sid, and I hope we have a great game week. Shopman says, is Sterling nailed on? Pretty much, Shopman. If he's fit, if he's trained, he's sharp, I think he's pretty much nailed on. For this game week, not so sure. John says, Dyer or Van Bissaka. I'd say out of those two, I'd possibly pick Dyer, Son or Rashford? Son. Matthew Brown says, tempted to take a punt on a captain. Matthew, to be honest with you, I would love for you to take a punt on a player, but for this game week, do not take a punt on captain. I think there are very good captaincy options anyway. Don't go too differential on a captain this week. Kane, Son, KDB, Bruno Fernandes. There are so many good options. Don't go too much astray on your captaincy. Just my opinion. Manamino says Dyer, Semedo, Sias. Semedo and Sias. That's interesting, my friend. Smelly Web has made his usual tweet. That means it's about 5 minutes to go. He says, time for Zen and inner peace, guys. Inner peace, just like Kung Fu Panda. Caspiano says, De Gea, Clark, Dyer, Cancelo, Stones. So he's got 4 at the back. Son, De Bruyne, Fernandes, Rashford, pretty standard. Kane, Wilson. I like the team, Caspiano. I like the team. Clark, maybe you can replace him with Andre Yedlin if you wanted a more attacking one, but I see the upside with that. I think that's a good team. Rahul says, which Newcastle goalkeeper will play? I honestly have no idea, bro. Honestly. But if I had to take a guess, I'd say Darlow. But honestly, I can't say with any amount of fair certainty. Nahal says, ran a few RMTs with my players and free hit team. Was gaining 10 points more, so decided to save. Yeah, that's Nahal. That's pretty much the idea, right? Sometimes, you have to make these decisions. I could have very well gone without free hitting as well, but I've done that with my wildcard and totally burnt it. So I decided that I would not think about the future. Let's play for the, for the present. All right. Desmond says, hi Wiz, if you had 0.6 more, would you upgrade any player? The only player I would love to upgrade was possibly Stones to Diaz, because I feel he's even more nailed on than Stones. Other than that, my friend, or possibly Sias to Cancelo, if I could, and maybe Gundogan to Saka, something like that, but otherwise not, I'm pretty much happy with this team. The only player I would upgrade is basically I would downgrade Gundogan to somebody else and maybe get Cancelo if I wanted to, Other than that, I'm pretty happy with the team. Matthew Brown says, okay, my 11. Lloris, Diaz, Stones, Tierney, KDB, Smith-Rowe, Rashford, Bruno, Son, Kane, Wilson. Like that, a lot. FPL Jug says, my team is locked. My first free hit ever. Good luck to you, Jug, and I hope you have a great season, my friend. And I hope that FPL Wizard and this community makes playing FPL a little bit more fun, guys, because that is, that is the purpose of this channel and this community. Nehal says, captain choices ranking. Well, Nehal, to be honest with you, I'd like to say that number 1 captain should be between, I'd say, Kane and KDB. Number 2, Bruno and Son. That's exactly I think about that. Well, we have a super chat from Todd. Thank you so much, and really appreciate it, Todd. And he has a question. Well, Todd, you don't have much time, so let's be quick. Lindelof or Shaw? Well, Lindelof or Shaw, right? I have to be quick with that. Well, if you feel Shaw is going to start, Todd, I'm not sure about who is going to start there, but if you want a nailed-on player, then you would go with Maguire or Van Bissaka, but Shaw creates a lot of chances. He's out of the defenders, he's created a lot of chances. So if I was you, I wanted to take a punt on a United defender, I would go with Luke Shaw. The only problem is I'm just not sure if he's going to play or not, but from the press conferences, let me just read quickly. All of them trained today. Ole confirmed when asked for an update on Pogba, Shaw, Bailey and Lindelof. He says, Paul and Eric didn't do all of the session. We'll see how they are. But Luke and Victor did. Yeah, Luke Shaw. I think out of those two, I'd say Luke Shaw, my friend. But lock your team, Todd. You don't have much time. I wish I'd give you a longer answer than that. But 2 minutes left. Lock your teams. Everybody, lock your teams now. I don't want any of you to miss your deadlines and then later on... could be a problem. Thought if I was you, I'd possibly, out of those two, go with Luke Shaw. And I again thank you so much for your super chat. Sean says, you reckon Shaw will play? Already answered that. I'm going for KDB El Capitano. What do you think of Rob Holding signing a new contract? Well, I think it's pretty good. For FPL point of view, I don't think that makes a lot of difference. I think he's nailed on to start anyway and doesn't have much attacking upside. Triple Captain Sterling, my word, GameX. I hope it works for you, my friend. Honestly do. Good luck, guys. Whatever happens, don't sweat it. That's exactly the right attitude, Matthew. And if everybody plays FPL with the same attitude, I think we'll have a better community in it. Lock your team, guys. Last 1 minute, and Sterling is not 100% fit. Well, Pep said he was fit. We just have to go with, go with what he said. But I wouldn't get him on my free hit team, so each to his own, guys. By the way, the deadline is over. Tick tock. Yeah, the deadline is over, and we have all locked our teams, guys. We've all played our cards, and I didn't play my cards close to my chest. I showed you my team right before everybody else. So you know my team anyway. Zod says, thanks for streaming. FPL Duck says, good luck everyone. By the way, guys, we've still got 80 people watching and 46 likes. Come on, guys. Show me some love. Give me some likes. I love those likes on the stream, and it helps getting the channel to farther off places, to more audience. That's all we want. I just want to have a beautiful community to to talk to, guys, to give you a beautiful community. That's all I want. Nahal says, good luck everyone, and Wab says, thanks for another great stream, Wiz. You're welcome, my friend, and thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. Amrit says, my toughest game week. I never have the money. Amrit, I really, I know that you're trying to follow my team, but sometimes, when we make the transfers, I try to update. Every time I make a transfer, I update on on Twitter, but sometimes I think these price changes does make it difficult. Raja says, good luck everyone. Peter says, good luck, guys. Peter, this is the first comment I'm seeing from you. Welcome, and good luck to you too. Asad says, bye everyone. Peter says, like the stream. So guys, here, finally, the deadline is over. You can never imagine how many drafts for the free hit I made. And I wasn't even sure till the last day that I wanted to free hit, and I was still making a draft after draft after draft. And I just pulled my free hit trigger like about 2 hours before the stream, and that is when I realized that, oh my god, I am going to free hit. I have to take it seriously. It is not just making drafts for the, just for the sake of it. I actually pulled the trigger and now I have to free hit. And then I panicked, and what happened was, my 2-year-old, right at the time when I pulled the trigger for the free hit, my 2-year-old comes to me and he says, Dad, can you take me out and play ball with me? And I was like, what do you want to play? And he's like, I want to go outside and play with you. And I was like, oh my days. And then he wanted to go out, and he wanted a cake, guys. He wanted a cake with rainbow sprinklers on top. He wanted a special cake, and with rainbow sprinklers on top. And then I had to take him to the cake shop, guys. And at the back of my mind, I was thinking about that. I just pulled the trigger on my free hit, and I don't even have time to tinker with it. And that is the reason when I came here, guys. I had a delicious cake, by the way. Don't get me wrong, but but I did have a doubt in mind about Sais and Aaron Van Bissaka. But in the end, I decided that whenever I make a transfer on stream, it never goes well. So I decided against it. Call it the crystal ball or call it the superstition, but that's how it goes. Yash says, Wiz, how old are you? Yash, wizards never age, my friend. We always stay the same age, When I was born, I possibly just looked the way I do now, Yeah, I'm 34, by the way. So Smelly Web says, yeah, he's made a beautiful picture of a cake. And yeah, we did enjoy the cake. And there was rainbow sprinklers on the top, and it's pretty delicious, by the way. But all my mind was on the free hit. Sid says, love to your kid, my friend. Thank you so much, Sid. Thank you. I hope you all have fun with your families, guys, because this is the most important thing that we are here for. I mean, if we don't enjoy, we don't love the time, or we enjoy the time with our loved ones, then everything else is just doesn't make sense. Nehal says, Wiz is Gandalf the Grey, few years to Gandalf the White. I wish Yeah, and I do wish I had a real crystal ball, guys, and I had a real staff, and I could do magic and see the future. I would be the best FPL channel without even having to try. He's FPL the Grey, he says. Yeah, absolutely. Peter says his different phases have different ages. That's true. I'm a wizard. I can do stuff, right? Peter says, I'll be FPL the Bald after this season. Well, Peter, I think most FPL managers do tend to go bald as compared to other people. I mean, we just think so much. I mean, at the end of the day, guys, sometimes I do think about that, right? We got one transfer. Most of the game weeks, we got to play with one transfer, and we spend so much time. I mean, when I go out and buy clothes for myself, I take 1 hour and I'll buy the clothes, like my jeans and my t-shirts and my whatever I want to buy. I'll buy my clothes for an entire year in 1 hour. But I can't decide one FPL transfer in 2 days. I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? We don't have much to play with, but we still spend so much time thinking about it. That's a fantastic comment by Peter. He says Pep's hair is Horcrux. He keeps it in a jar above his trophies. Well, that is one Horcrux. What about the other ones? We need all of them, That's the point of the Horcrux. There are a lot of them. But I do tend to understand about his hair. Light says 3:30 a.m. here in Sydney. My word, Light and you stayed here for the entire stream. I don't know how to thank you enough, Light Appreciate it, my friend. I hope I made it worthwhile for you, and thank you so much for being here at such late hour. FPL Sam says punts Zaha, Aurier, Saka. Well, I think this game week Saka isn't much of a punt, but Zaha and Aurier definitely are, and good luck to you with that Kane caption as well, FPL Sam. Peter says, I think his trophies are 1 or 2 Horcruxes. Sid says, good night, Wiz. Good night, Sid. FPL Jack says, night, Light Rays. Peter says he's probably got one in Mendy. Mendy is asking for weird things on New Year's Day, which I don't want to say on this stream, but it was pretty interesting if you read the comments. Tariq says it's Cavaliero, a good shout. Tariq, for long term, possibly. For this game week, he's playing against Spurs, so not so much. Nehal says more like Portuguese. This is getting interesting, guys, and I wish we could just stay here and talk about Harry Potter, talk about Lord of the Rings. By the way, I'd like to tell you I love reading a lot, and fantasy books are magical fantasy books are the ones my favorite, and you can make out Lord of the Rings is my favorite book, closely followed by Ursula Gwyn, Wizard of the Earthsea. I like that one. I like Harry Potter series, and I like lots of wizard stories. Currently, I'm reading a book called Gunslinger. Pretty interesting as well. And I hope I can find something interesting because at night while watching the game, I'll listen to my audiobook and I hope it's interesting. By the way, guys, it's not about FPL, so I guess, no, Peter, the spelling is Ursula Gwyn. She was an American author who basically inspired Harry Potter, books from J.K. Rowling. She is the one who inspired them. I mean, she was the first one who wrote a book about, magic school and all that stuff. There's a character in there, protagonist. His name is Ged. It's pretty interesting. This was the name of the author, by the way, if you were interested. Giovan says you should try the King Killer Chronicle. Yeah, Giovan, I actually tried it. I just couldn't get into it. I've tried it, 3 or 4 times, and I haven't able to get too much into the King Killer Chronicles. Maybe one day I will. Peter, I don't know which one I talked about, the other one, but this one is interesting. Wizard of the Earthsea, it's called. It's about archipelagos and stuff. It's interesting. Yeah, she's a fantastic author, and she's the one who inspired Harry Potter. So if you liked Harry Potter, and you want to go more intense, a little bit on wizards and magic and stuff, and you should possibly go with Ursula K. Gwyn. You definitely enjoy that. This chat is getting interesting. Except Alexander just asked me, where is Sterling? Alexander, I didn't pick him, my friend. I wanted to have Sterling, but since I wasn't sure that he was gonna start, that is the reason I didn't pick him. That's the only reason. If you did, good luck to you. The deadline is now over, so we were chilling, talking about some wizard things, right? Akash says, whom to captain? Akash, the deadline is over, my friend. I apologize if you missed the deadline, but it's over. Peter says Gundogan is a great pick. I hope so, Peter. I really hope so. One reason why I have a player from Newcastle, Wolves, and Spurs, Arsenal, obviously, but I just wanted to kind of spread the risk around, because you don't know what happens in days of coronavirus. Some match can still get cancelled, and I wanted some cover from different teams just in case. Giovan says the Broken Earth trilogy is another one I enjoyed. By the way, Giovan, I heard about that, and thank you so much for the recommendation. By the way, guys, I would like to tell you, the book that inspired it all, like Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, and all these authors, they were inspired by a single book. It is called Well at World's End, and I've been trying to listen to that book. It's just such bad recording. The Well at World's End. I wrote the name of the book here. And it is a fantastic book. This was the book that inspired Tolkien to write his trilogy. I mean, his Lord of the Rings and Hobbit. So if you can get your hands on this book, you should read this book. It's I feel it's pretty interesting. I'm trying to get it as well, and if I can, I would love to read it. And yeah, so this is the book, and I want to read what inspired somebody so great like Tolkien. I tried to read the Silmarillion. It was so wordy. Silmarillion is more like an anthology. It's not exactly a story, right? It's about descriptions about the gods and different times, different wars, different people and stuff. Silmarillion, I enjoy everything about Lord of the Rings, but yeah, it is a little tedious. I agree with you. Hope Gundogan Hall, says FPL Jug. I think he will. FPL, Jug. Even if he doesn't haul, he's not the most expensive, right? So there's a little bit upside in that. I don't see much downside. That's the reason I have Gundogan in my team, So yeah, I guess with this, by the way, I just want to tell you, I just don't read fantasy books. I read books from all genres. Some of the ones which I really love is obviously these, which I talked to you about, and I love like Atlas Shrugged from Ayn Rand. It's one of my favorites. The Fountainhead, We the Living. I love The Godfather. I love The Sicilian by Mario Puzo. and a lot of other books. I read a lot, guys, and I like reading, and just into a lot of books. Hopefully, we'll talk more. We'll talk more. I could stay here all day and talk to you guys because I enjoy it so much. But I guess, like all good things, this stream must now come to an end. I must go back to my 2-year-old and try to steal a bit of that sprinkler cake that I got for him. Well, on this note, guys, I'd like to end the stream, and I'd like to thank you all, guys, for being here with me, and making this stream successful, making this channel helpful and big, and this community big. If you'd like to join the Discord, the link is in the description. If you'd like to follow me on Twitter, it's at the rate WizFPL, so we can interact more. So with these words, we come to an end of the Gameweek 18 deadline stream. There's a lot of football to come, and I'm sure there's going to be lots of videos, guys, and I'm going to be seeing with you and talking to you a lot. Till then, peace out, and FPL Wizard signing out. May the arrows be green, and I'll leave you with a beautiful song. Enjoy and take care, and stay safe, guys. Bye-bye.